Today we're talking about my favorite piano method book combinations for our beginning piano students. Take this book from this series with this book from this series, put them together, and we've got a well-rounded, fun, and engaging curriculum for our beginning piano students. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm Phoenix, and I'm the Tattooed Piano Teacher. In this video right here, I asked you all if you would be interested in hearing some of my combination favorites between the series of piano methods, and I got lots of comments saying, yes, we want to hear how you Frankenstein together a curriculum between series. However, to be completely honest, I've been dragging my feet on making this video. Although I was very excited to make it, I was having a hard time reining in how many combinations to talk about and how to organize it. So the way that I'm making this happen today is I'm going to focus on just beginner curriculum levels. We're not going to talk about the later elementary or intermediate levels in this video anyways, but do let me know in the comments if you'd like to continue this series of piano method book combinations. I'm also not going to get into theory books in this video, and I'm not going to get into like supplementary songbooks, because you can kind of add a theory book to any method book and you can kind of add a supplementary songbook to any level. So those are more flexible, perhaps treated more as add-ons. So I'm not going to get into those. I am going to strictly stick to lesson main books and technique type books for the most part for beginners. So if that sounds relevant and interesting to you, come along for the ride. Combination number 1, My First Piano Adventure, Lesson Book A, paired with Piano Skill Set, Pre-Reading Level, Technique Book. Who is this combination great for? If you have a beginning student aged, let's say 4 to 6, who you are starting in the My First Piano Adventure series, which by the way, I do have a review for if you're not familiar. And as you get about halfway through that lesson book, you find that you are kind of losing the student because it starts off real slow, but then for a younger student with small hands, it does kind of jump into playing the full scales and reading notes on the staff a little bit quickly for some little ones. If you find that they are not flying through the book, or they're flying through the book up to a certain point and then they're getting a little stuck when you try to move to the white keys or when you move to the staff, then try the Piano Skill Set Technique book. There is also a Piano Skill Set writing book and song book that go along with it, which you could absolutely do. If your student needs a break from the My First Piano Adventure path, then you could go to the Piano Skill Set, catch up, and then come on back when they're ready. Or if they just need a little extra review and a little off-staff literature to keep them reviewing for a longer period of time and kind of stretch out that progression for them, then adding the Piano Skill Set Technique book while you're still working in the My First Piano Adventure book can be a great combination. And then if you like the Piano Skill Set addition to that curriculum as you move into the My First Piano Adventure Lesson Book B, that book correlates to the Piano Skill Set Primer level, which is the second level in that set. Combination number 2, Alfred Premier Piano Course Level 1A lesson book paired with WunderKeys Primer Book 1. Who do I love this combination for? Well, if you're familiar with the Alfred Premier Piano Course, I have a full review right here, then you know that that is a faster paced series in the long run, but it's hard to tell sometimes when you get a new student who is still fairly young if they're gonna be like a fast track student or if they're gonna be on the slower side. So if you have a student that you want to get on the Alfred Premier Piano Course series path and you're pretty sure that they're gonna be one of those fast track students who will thrive in that series, but you're not totally sure yet because they just started, then a great way to sort of temper the Alfred series is to pair it with the WunderKeys. The other thing that is great about this combination is that WunderKeys captures the imagination of a young beginner right away. So they're gonna get the fun games, activities, characters, comics, short, manageable songs in the WunderKeys book, slower pace, and the more stepwise introduction of notes schedule once they get to the staff, plus the fast track technique heavy Alfred's Premier Piano Course. So although those books are fairly different from each other, I find that they can make a good combination and it gives you some more flexibility with that student. For example, if they're moving along in the Alfred Premier Piano Course and they get stuck on something, if you were only in those books, well, then you'd have to figure out what to do. But if you have the WunderKeys trucking along right alongside of it, then you can take a break from that book and go just WunderKeys for a few weeks, or you can slow down the pace of this one, speed up the pace of this one, and vice versa, and kind of use them to supplement each other along the path. Combination number 3, WunderKeys Primer Book 1 plus Piano Skill Set Pre-Reading Technique. Yes, same book I mentioned in the last combination, but hear me out because this combination is slightly different. This wouldn't necessarily be for a student that started in the WunderKeys and is stuck. However, presumably if you're starting a student in WunderKeys Primer 1, they could be age 4 up to age 8. But let's say that you're a teacher that just wants a little more substance added to the WunderKeys curriculum. You want them to have a few more songs to flesh out the concepts. You want them to have a little more pre-reading practice before they forge ahead onto notes on the staff. Then these two pair together very nicely, and you can actually start them at the same time and work through them together. And because there isn't really writing within the WunderKeys book, you might want to add the Piano Skill Set Pre-Reading Writing book as well, but I know I said I wasn't going to talk about theory, so that's all I'll say about that. So combination number 4, Piano Adventures Primer Lesson Book paired with Piano Skill Set Primer Level Technique book. I promise these won't all be piano skill set recommendations. Let's say you have the average age beginner, so they're not a young one, they are age 7 to 11, give or take. Decided to get them going in the Basic Piano Adventures series with that purple primer book, but if you're like me, you're not totally sold on the technique book, technique and artistry book that goes along with the Piano Adventures lesson books, at least for the first couple levels. After that, it gets a little bit better in my opinion. But again, you could add a piano skill set technique book to really make sure that their note reading skills are solid by the end of the purple primer lesson book and to really reinforce technique skills. But in this case, this is not a young beginner. We are going to start right away in the primer level book of the Piano Skill Set series. Let's go in a different direction and not talk about the books that I authored myself. Combination number 5. WunderKeys Primer Book 2 paired with Note Reading Made Fun for the Young Book 1. If you're not familiar with the Note Reading Made Fun for the Young series, yes, this is a lesser known series in the piano method world. I made a review all about that one as well, so if you'd like to learn more about that series and see some previews of the pages, but here is why I love this combination and who I think it's great for. Let's say you have a student that you started in the WunderKeys, perhaps with another book or perhaps just the WunderKeys Primer Book 1 by itself, and they did great in that with those first 3 notes for the right hand and the first 3 notes for the left hand, introducing them on the staff. However, when we get to Primer 2 book in the WunderKeys series, right away, they are learning the pinky notes for both hands in middle C position. So that would be the treble G and the bass F. We call it fish note F in my studio. That would be the F3 on the staff in the bass clef. I'm so sorry guys, I seem to be having issues with my microphone and it has a static that comes in and out and it's pretty bad in this next segment, so I'm going to switch over to my phone's audio. I sound a little bit farther away, so I apologize for that. It's just temporary and it looks like I'm going to be doing some microphone shopping this week. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Some students do fine with this and then they fill in the missing note and they've got all 10 notes now learned. However, some students, because they've learned their notes in stepwise motion, jumping to the end of the scale on either end, they can get a little bit lost. So if you have a student who did great in WunderKeys Primer 1 and now they're lost at the beginning of WunderKeys Primer 2, then check out the Note Reading Made Fun for the Young Book 1. This series is so unique in that they introduce one note and then they have a myriad of songs just adding that one note before they add another note. It's all added in stepwise motion. And so at the beginning of the Note Reading Made Fun Book 1, you are going to get a bunch of songs just using CED, just using CBA, and combinations thereof before they get out to the GF. You know what I'm talking about? Middle C position? Okay. So if you feel like your student would just absolutely thrive by having a bunch of practice reading short, simple songs in the first 6 notes that they learn before adding on to that, then the Note Reading Made Fun series is the series for you. Now, I just have to mention that the Piano Skills Set Technique book, the primer level, also does the same thing. It introduces the notes in that stepwise order, and it does give you a lot of extra songs that are also fun to practice. So pairing the WunderKeys Primer Book 2 with either the Note Reading Made Fun for the Young Book 1 or the Piano Skill Set Primer Level Technique book would be a great combination. Every book that I mention you will find linked down below if you want to try these out with your students. Combination number 6 is the Note Reading Made Fun for the Young, lesson book, song book, books 1, 2, and 3, paired with the Perfect Start for Finger Exercises, also book 1, 2, 3. Now, these are authored by the same person, but they are part of 2 series, technically speaking. And so I do love pairing the Note Reading Made Fun book with the finger exercise book because it's like a great lesson and technique book. They both are the same color covers. They look like they're meant to be together. They both have the same note introduction schedule, and they just pair seamlessly with each other. So if you're looking for a different approach to technique, the Perfect Start for the finger exercises might be something to check out. They focus on learning a 4-measure little mini song and then playing it in 7 different ways, such as legato, staccato, loud, soft, fast, slow. I have one more combination for you that includes a series I haven't mentioned in this video yet, but I reviewed quite recently. Before I give you that final combination, make sure you are hitting that like button to help out the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. I do love making piano method reviews as well as piano teacher tips and other stuff. So combination number 7. Piano Pronto Prelude book paired with WunderKeys Primer Book 2. So I did recently do a full review of the Piano Pronto series, and it is very unique. I have been trying to incorporate it here and there with some of my students. Some of my students really thrived with it, and it wasn't quite right for others of my students. But if you like the idea of the Piano Pronto book, you're just not sure if you want to go all in, then I love this combination between Piano Pronto and WunderKeys because they have opposite approaches, opposite aesthetics, opposite song choice, well, kind of. So they just kind of add some variety for a student who likes a little bit of everything. And then you know that you're not missing anything. So let's say once again, you have a student that you want to start on WunderKeys. You start them in Primer Book 1, but you're just looking to add a little bit of extra substance. Maybe they love familiar tunes. You want to get them into some classical themes, some folk tunes. Then once they start reading notes on the staff in the WunderKeys series, you can add on the Piano Pronto first book, which is Prelude. Now, just be warned that the WunderKeys is a slow-moving series, and in general, the Piano Pronto is quite a accelerated series, so do keep that in mind. But I kind of like the flexibility of that again. So you have one book that's all black and white and all familiar tunes, and then you have this other book that has comics and characters. It's colorful, it's got shorter tunes that are easily digestible, and it takes things rather slow, so you can kind of push this one a little bit and then push this one a little bit and let them work together. It also helps you to get an idea of what really works for your student. It's one of the reasons that I love combinations of piano method series in general, because if you have only one series that you have used with your student for their entire piano lesson experience and it starts to not work so well for them, you might not have all the information you need to get them what they need as far as a different method book if you've never tried anything else with them. So a little bit of experimentation, being flexible between combinations of lesson books or technique books can really give you the full picture of what works for your student. You never know, if you give all of your students that same stack of books from your favorite series and you never deviate from that, then you'll never know if something else might have worked a little bit better for them. So just to summarize the different combinations we went over in this video, if you are a Piano Adventures teacher, you can pair My First Piano Adventure with the Piano Skill Set pre-reading level books, or the purple primer level book with the primer level piano skill set books. If you are a WunderKeys teacher, you can also pair the primer books with the piano skill set series. Primer book 1 lining up more with the pre-reading level and primer book 2 lining up with the primer level. The WunderKeys Primer Book 2 also works well with the Piano Pronto for an opposite type approach. or with the Note Reading Made Fun series for a more aligned approach. And keep in mind that the Note Reading Made Fun books also align seamlessly with the Perfect Start for the Finger Exercises books. And finally, if you like the Alfred's Premier Piano Course series, you can pair that with the WunderKeys Primer books for some variety. So I hope that this video inspired you to maybe try out something new with one of your beginning students. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see another combination suggestion video for some of the later levels, maybe getting into level 2 or 3. And of course, this is not an exhaustive list. There are endless combinations that you could do. Maybe you have a combination that you're just on the edge of your seat going, Phoenix, why didn't you talk about? Well, let us know in the comments because we can read each other's suggestions, we can learn from each other, and that's what I love about this community. Now, if you're really new to the piano method world and you're like, I'm not familiar with any of these books, oh my goodness, where do I start? Then I have a chart that compares level to level, all of the different series, so you can see this book would pair with this book if you want to try out some combinations of your own. And of course, I will link all of those individual reviews to all the books that I mentioned in this video, as well as links to purchase them. If you want to keep watching, I didn't get into supplemental songbooks in this video at all. If you like the WunderKeys series or you're curious about it, looks a little bit different, I have a video reviewing the supplemental books that go along with those, and those can really be paired with any primer or early elementary series that you love, that you just want to add a little fun, a little theory, and a little songbook to those. So check out that video right there, or another one on my piano method review playlist, and I will see you there or on another video very soon. Bye-bye.